Have you ever found yourself saying, just one more revision, it'll be a quick phone call, it'll only take me a few minutes, and before you know it, you've spent hours doing work nobody paid for? If that sounds familiar, then this episode's for you. Welcome back to the Jameela Adams Experience, the podcast where we help women over 40 build their confidence and create businesses that support the life that they actually want to live. I'm your host, Jameela Adams, and today we're talking about a habit that many entrepreneurs wear like a badge of honor. It's secretly draining their time, energy, profits, and peace of mind. We're talking about over delivering. Now, don't get me wrong, providing excellent service is important. Taking care of your clients matters. But somewhere along the way, many of us started believing that being valuable means constantly doing more than what was agreed upon. And that's a dangerous mindset because when you're always giving extra, saying yes to everything, and stretching yourself beyond your limits, eventually somebody pays the price. And spoiler alert, it's usually you. So if you're feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, underpaid, and maybe a little resentful towards your clients lately, grab your favorite beverage and settle in. Because today we're discussing why doing more isn't always better and how over delivering can quietly sabotage your business and what you can do to create healthier boundaries without feeling guilty about it. So let's get into it. You know what's funny? Most entrepreneurs don't wake up one morning and say, you know what? I really want to work twice as hard and make half as much money. No one does that. At least, not normal people. Nobody says that. Yet, somehow, that's exactly where many of us end up. Here's the thing, it usually starts from a good place. We genuinely want to help people. That's why we started our businesses. We care about our clients and what their needs are. And see, the other thing too that's really important, we want them to succeed because their success is our success. We want them to feel like they made the right decision when they hired us. So we start adding little extras and bonuses, and we throw in an occasional consultation, which they didn't pay for, or maybe we answer questions that really aren't part of the project because they didn't ask them. And maybe we keep revising something so long after the agreed upon scope has been completed. Who does that? Anyway, it all seems harmless at first. And then you look up one day and you realize you're spending more time serving existing clients than growing your business. Raise your hand, Sharon. I know you've done that. Anyway, that's when things really start to get messy. So, why does it happen? Why do we do this? So, we're going to talk about that. So, first and foremost, believe it or not, it's not about greed. It's not. Over serving, over delivering is not about greed. It's about fear. Sometimes we're afraid people won't see our value. And that's unfortunate because that's unfortunate. That's the type of world we live in. Sometimes we're worried they won't think we're worth our rates. How many times have you been told that, oh, that's a little too much? I don't think I want to pay that. And sometimes we're trying so hard to stand out that we convince ourselves we have to do more than anyone else. So I see it happen all the time. No, I've lived it. Anyway, let's see this in real life. I'll give you an example. A business owner raises their prices, but immediately starts adding extra services because they're uncomfortable charging more. Think about it for a second. They increase the price, but they give away so much additional work that it essentially cancels it out. It cancels out the increase. And let's be real here. That's not confidence. It really isn't. That's compensation. I'll repeat it. That's not confidence. That's compensation. They're trying to compensate for discomfort by over serving. And many of us have done it. I know I have. So let's be clear. And I really want us to get on this, okay? Providing excellent customer service is important. It really is. That's how we end up growing our businesses in the first place. Word of mouth or referrals or all the things. So I'm not suggesting you become difficult, unavailable, or robotic. That's not what I'm saying. There's a big difference between excellent service and over delivering. And here's another example. I'll show you. Excellent service says, I'll do exactly what I promise and do it exceptionally well. Okay? Over delivering says, I will do what I promise plus five additional things nobody asked for. You see the difference? One builds a sustainable business. Okay? One will grow your business. The other one will create unrealistic expectations because by this time the person thinks that this is what you're going to do for them all the time. And yes, clients don't even recognize the extra things you're doing for them because they never knew they weren't included. So if you didn't put it on the contract or you didn't put it on the purchase order or anything like that, how would they know? And guess what? You're the one who's going to be or I should say not compensated. You're going to be the one that's screwed. It is what it is. So you might be exhausting yourself providing bonus value while your client simply assumes that that's part of your normal process. So for every quick favor, it costs something. There's a hidden cost to everything. Every quick revision, or I should say every extra revision, costs something. Every unnecessary Zoom call costs something. Maybe not financially right away, but eventually it costs. Guess what they are? Guess what those big costs are? Your time, your energy, your focus, your creativity, your family time, and your rest. Your body needs to rest. So these are the costs of over delivering. And then eventually, guess what the next thing happens? The B word, burnout. And we know we're not doing that this year. I've been telling you guys, 2026, I'm not burning out for nobody. But here's the thing. It's not because you're lazy. And it's not because you're incapable. But because you created a business model that depends on you constantly giving more than what you're receiving. How can you pour into something if you have nothing to pour in? Okay? That's not sustainable. You really need to reel it in. So here are the warning signs of you over delivering. And there are a few, so please take note. Okay? If you are doing these things, you're over delivering. Okay. You frequently work outside your business hours. That's one. Okay. Clients contact you whenever they want. That's two. Projects take much longer than expected. Okay. You struggle to raise your prices. And I need for you to work on that. I'm going to hold your hand throughout this whole process. So you feel resentful toward your clients. I've done that, and it's not a good feeling. So if you feel these things, that means you are over delivering. If you regularly say it's only an extra few minutes, you're over delivering because those few minutes do add up eventually. So stop. And if you're saying that 5 times a day, every day, that's not more than a few minutes anymore. You understand that, right? If you're saying that 5 times a day, every day, that's not a few minutes anymore. That's hours, that's revenue, that's energy. And I need for you to stop. So, how do we break the habit? How do we stop doing that? So, here's what we do. First and foremost, get clear about your scope. Just go by what you said that you were going to do. If you're a service provider, every proposal and contract should explain it clearly. What's included, what's not included, and how many revisions are included. That's it. Communication is key here. So communicate your expectations. And then if you have to, additional fees. That's what you have to put on there. Clarity protects everyone, your clients and yourself. And trust me, you really need to protect yourself. The second thing is stop feeling guilty about charging appropriately. Stop it. Your expertise took years to develop. Your knowledge has value. Your experience has value. Your time definitely has value. And third, practice saying this simple phrase: I'll be happy to help you with that. Here's what it would look like as an additional service. And notice I didn't say, hey, I didn't say no. You notice that? I didn't say no. I simply attach value to the additional work. And that's what you have to do. Okay? And that's completely reasonable. Everything from here on out, remember, you've got to set intentional boundaries. And this is a powerful mind shift. It really is. So here's the mind shift I want you to take away with. This is your challenge because you know we don't leave out of here without one. So if you have to, okay, let me rephrase it. If you don't have to earn your worth through exhaustion, I'm going to say that again. You do not have to earn your worth through exhaustion. You don't have to earn your worth through exhaustion. The quality of your work speaks for itself. Your professionalism speaks for itself. Your results speak for themselves. You don't have to keep providing, you don't have to keep proving yourself by sacrificing your peace. And I really want you to feel that. You don't have to keep sacrificing your peace in order to prove yourself. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want you to think about one area of your business where you've been giving more than you agreed to. Just one. That's all I need. Just one. Maybe it's client communication. Maybe it's revisions, because I know I've done that. So, whatever it is, identify it. And then ask yourself, what boundary would make me feel more sustainable? I'll say it again. What boundary would make this feel more sustainable? Because success isn't about constantly doing more. It really isn't. What's that term? Work smarter, not harder. It's about doing the right things consistently without draining yourself in the process. Your business should support your life, not consume it. And I'm pretty sure I've said that in previous episodes. So until next week, I want you to be inspired, be inspiring, be encouraged, be encouraging. But most of all, I want you to be you. And remember, stop over delivering, because you're going to be the one that's going to pay for it in the end eventually. So take care, and I'll check you out next week.